Cybersecurity has a long-standing tradition in the IT world, but it is still a new concept for the world of the PLC or the DCS, collectively known as Operational Technology or OT for short. In light of certain high-profile cyber attacks in the industrial sector, most OT asset owners feel a general sense of anxiety and are not sure how to approach the subject. You can't really blame them because cyber attacks in the OT world have far-reaching consequences, degrees more devastating than a website getting taken down or some poor guy's financial data ending up on the internet. So, in an effort to catch up, the approach the OT world seems to have taken is one that is reactive and short-term instead of a consistent one with a long-term outlook. This video is going to shed light on some of the top mistakes that OT asset owners are making when it comes to cybersecurity and will hopefully also present some practical measures that can be taken to safeguard your assets. Let's get right into it. Mistake 1. Approaching OT from an IT perspective. Although most OT asset owners and cybersecurity personnel in the field realize that the expectations for IT and OT systems are vastly different, they still tend to have a very surface-level understanding of this concept. The number one priority for your typical ICS or SCADA system is availability. Since the OT world is dominated by a host of proprietary technology, it is not always easy to predict how traditional IT practices will interfere with your OT infrastructure. Something as basic as network inventory tools or asset discovery tools can bring down your entire OT network. Simply investing in the technology is not going to work here. You need to tailor it to meet the needs of your ICS. OT asset owners need to take a more involved approach. The first step here would be to leverage the experiences of your OT personnel. With a more holistic integration between OT and IT, a more well-rounded strategy can be formulated. Similarly, always involving your PLC or DCS OEM into the equation is a good rule of thumb. Finally, any invasive measures such as pen testing, network inventory audits etc. need to be done while your OT system is offline. Mistake 2. Lack of a structured approach. Most organizations have a very short-term approach when it comes to cybersecurity and tend not to understand that it is something that requires continuous and consistent input on their part. You need to approach things in a life cycle sense. This means building cybersecurity into the design of your ICS, carrying out regular risk assessments, forming a team comprising of both OT and IT individuals with KPIs and LIs that allow you to monitor the suitability of your cybersecurity program, performing regular updates or patch management, and finally, developing a strong and accountable security culture. Mistake 3. Too much faith in air-gapping or security by obscurity. This one is a personal favorite. Most ICS installations tend to be closed loops or air-gapped, which is to say they are isolated from the outside world or the internet. They are standalone networks designed to serve one purpose. They may interact with outside networks, but it is very limited in nature, and these outside networks are also generally not connected to the internet. This gives most people in the OT world a false sense of security. Another source of this false sense of security is obscurity or proprietary technology. While it may offer a degree of isolation not enjoyed by IT systems, even if a particular system is normally not connected to any network, it will still require software updates and need to perform data transfers using a flash drive or a non-permanent modem connection, both of which can be compromised by hackers using social engineering techniques, such as installing malware on a thumb drive and leaving it for an unsuspecting employee to find. The Stuxnet virus, which ravaged Iran's Natanz nuclear facility and was believed to have been developed and unleashed by the governments of the US and Israel, entered the system through an infected thumb drive planted by a malicious insider, an Iranian double agent. And, in March, a federal indictment accused a team of hackers with ties to the Iranian government of using a cable modem to breach the SCADA system at the Bowman Avenue Dam in New York State. So what do you do here? Here are some simple suggestions. Do a complete audit of your ICS or SCADA system and identify all interfaces and devices. Disconnect any devices that do not need to be connected. Likewise, identify and disconnect any unused or unnecessary services, such as automated meter reading and remote billing systems, email services, and remote maintenance. Isolation is not information security, but limiting the number of source points hackers have access to is a good starting point. Implement intrusion detection systems and establish 24-hour-a-day incident monitoring and response. Incident response procedures must be in place to ensure that security personnel are available to respond to breaches at any time of the day or night. Perform regular system backups and have a robust disaster recovery plan. The organization must have a disaster recovery plan that can handle any type of emergency, including a cyber terrorist attack, and get systems back online as soon as possible. Establish strict, specific cybersecurity rules and protocol for employees. An organization's employees can be the weak link in an otherwise secure environment, which is why hackers commonly use social engineering techniques as a first entry point into a system. Mistake 4. Global user access. If a user needs to access an application, give that one user access to that one application, not the entire machine. Many times a user or process is given many more permissions than are really needed simply because it's easier than figuring out what level of security is actually appropriate. Blanket removal of security restrictions may be a useful troubleshooting tool, but should not be used as the final solution. Many a support call to SCADA software vendors has ended with the suggestion to just give everyone permission. The worst offender of this is OPC. Mistake 5. Default passwords. This is pretty self-explanatory. Default passwords are a resounding no-no. I have seen countless network devices using default passwords in my time as an OT cybersecurity practitioner. In fact, you can verify this right now. Just head on over to your nearest SCADA network switch and try either admin as the username and password, or if that doesn't work, try putting in Cisco as the username and password. You will be surprised how many of these devices are out there, waiting to be attacked. What's even worse is some of them are even internet-facing. These are all easily avoidable mistakes and can be cause for your entire cybersecurity program breaking down. However, you will be in a much better position if you become mindful of some of these pitfalls. I hope this video will serve as a reminder and will help your organization reach your cybersecurity goals. Click the like button if you liked this video, and of course, it always helps if you could subscribe also.